Ooh, Final Destination Fast and the Furious combo movie. Like, remember when they were talking about like the Fast and the Furious Transformers mix up? No, 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 no. We need Final Destination Fast and the Furious. My dog's on board with it.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Phil, along here with Joe.
Hey everyone.
Joe, you told me that you've seen a movie recently.
I did. I went out to see the new release this weekend, Final Destination Bloodlines, the sixth movie in the franchise. Are you familiar with the Final Destination movies at all?
I mean, I think I've definitely seen the first one all the way through.
It was
I've
required
seen,
viewing for young adults in that time period. Yeah, sure.
I feel like I've seen bits and pieces of other Final Destination movies.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely recall on the TV while I was in a hotel room and like coming to this like massive like set piece of like bloodbath, and then at rewinding time, I was like, oh, this is Final Destination.
Yeah, I wonder if you just pop it on TV and you're like, oh, this looks like a fun roller coaster movie, and then all hell breaks loose, and you're like, oh, right, 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 they die. Uh, this new one is more of the same. It's more people dying and rewinding and cheating death. Um, and I will say it's very fun. I was a little hesitant about going to see it because I felt leading into this weekend that I was a little burnt out on the franchise. Like, it's not one of my number ones, and I'm not like a diehard Final Destination fan. So I was kind of feeling like, you know what, it's just going to be more people in goofy situations, and you know, there's no hope. but um, but the thing that pulls me back into this franchise is not the characters or the uh, elaborate deaths that there's plenty of. What draws me back is how they twist and play with the narrative. Like, how does this work? How, like, this whole like cheating death? What are the consequences? How do you get around the consequences? How do you survive? Um, and I think the best example of that is from going from Final Destination One into Final Destination Two, where I believe it was um, because of events in Final Destination 1, that's how we got the group of survivors in Final Destination 2. So they were directly related, even though it was like complete strangers. And like at the time, I was like, that's the way you do it. That's the way you get people excited about this franchise. And it definitely worked on me. But as time went on, they bend the rules. You know, I'm getting away from it to hyper focus on this movie. Set pieces are great. It's got some of the best Rube Goldberg deaths in the whole series. Really fun stuff. And I will say those scenes are like an odd combination of hilarious and terrifying. Like I was definitely watching it like this, but also laughing. So like it's like it's it's a strange mix they have there with this setup. But it occurred to me, like I mean, just on this movie, it's good. The performances are fine. You know, it's got a killer last shot. It's so good. Uh, Worth seeing. I'm glad I saw it in a theater with a crowd. Like, I'm glad that I got to experience it with people. I will say that it occurred to me afterwards that, like, this franchise, which is now on six, has survived and thrived with no face to it. There's
Interesting.
We have a bad guy that we never see. You never see death except like a gust of wind. Like there'll be like smoke and it's swirling, and they're like, "He's with us." So there's no Ghostface. There's no Freddy Krueger. There's no Jason Voorhees. There's also no stars. Like there's
Mhm.
like not just stars, but like reoccurring characters. There's one, the Tony Todd character, who has appeared in maybe five, I think, as just like a pop-in sort of like voice of doom. But there's no Nev Campbell. There's no final girl that like just keeps coming back. And I was like, well, certainly there must be some high profile celebrity cameos that die, like Drew Barrymore style, like where
Yeah.
you know you get to see like Kim Kardashian dying in the opening scene. How crazy would that be? I mean, it would certainly draw people in, but the Final Destination franchise is like, nope, we don't need it. We're just we're going to show you a bunch of people. Maybe you've seen them in other things. You probably haven't, but they're all going to die. And it's such a unique franchise because I know they're, even though this isn't my jam, I know this is people's jam. Like I know people love this movie. And I thought it was so strange that they were able to do it with no real face to it. No bad guys, no marquee stars, not even any cameo stars. And I
Yeah.
couldn't think of anything else that does that.
Yeah, I don't think there is really, because I mean, if you think about like horror movies or like scary movies in general, it's generally like a villain, like a Freddy Krueger or a Jason or whatever Leatherface. Um, even but I guess even like it's mostly even in combination with like a final girl usually
Yeah.
coming back. Um, but yeah, do you think though that that what brings people back is the Rube Goldberg death scenes?
That must be what it is. Like, because it really is terrifying and funny at the same time, which is a great combo. And the Rube Goldberg mechanics are always inventive and fun and really crazy in this one. There's I don't even want to spoil it, but there's a couple where I was like, wow. Like, even when you kind of see where it might be going, they're like, nope. There's a whole other thing going on. Um yeah, that could be it, but it's such a thin sheet of ice to build an audience on. I wonder if there were discussions about like let's bring in like I don't know
Yeah,
who's a huge star, but like anybody to be not the face, but just someone to be like, oh, they killed so
yeah.
and so
Oh,
in the opening
I
scene.
recognize that person.
Right? Yeah. Oh, he's going to be the star of the movie. No, he's not. He's already dead. He fell off the skyscraper and landed on a penny. Yeah, I was just shocked by that, and I applaud them because they're keeping it going, and this is better than the last couple. So good
Yeah,
for them. Yeah.
cool. Um, I like I'd forgotten that the Final Destination franchise is so old that like there are people who are of age now that can watch Final Destination who have no idea what Final Destination is.
Right. They'll be like, what does this have to do with Final Destination? Because originally it was a play on like a plane taking off
Yeah,
and the Final Destination of death, of course. I guess they could put that together, but yeah, there's people that haven't been through all of it. And
but
good for them. They
I
have a
was
lot
talking
of
to
viewing.
somebody in their 20s and they were like, "Oh, I have to drive my car like a certain distance. Like the trunk won't even stay open." And I said to them, "Oh, that's like a Final Destination death." And they were like, "What's Final Destination?"
Oh my God. And you just went gray immediately. You're like, you became that
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan shot
I
where
wanted um a car full of logs to impale me in that moment.
yes, please. You went driving around looking for a car full of logs. You're like, no, nothing here. It's amazing how, even if for people that haven't seen the second one, and for people that don't, for anyone under 20, in the second movie, the opening death montage is a logger truck that comes unhitched and logs go all over the highway. Um, it has really haunted a generation, the generation from before, obviously, but everyone, everyone's just like they see that and they instantly they're like, oh, Final Destination 2, I'm gonna get in the other lane.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter what is like attached to a truck bed like that. It could be like a like one of those trucks full of cars. I'm like
Yeah,
changing lanes.
yeah. There's no reason to drive behind something that could murder you like that. Death's looking. He's always looking at.
Although I guess if you are in a like a Fast and Furious movie, it could just be a ramp.
Oh, yeah, you see it with completely different goggles. Can I jump off of those logs? Or knock those logs onto somebody else? Final Destination 2 style. Ooh, Final Destination Fast and the Furious combo movie. Like, remember when they were talking about, like the Fast and the Furious Transformers mix up? Nah, 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 nah. We need Final Destination Fast and the Furious.
I mean, I think
My dog's on board with it.
all three.
Why not? Put all of your hands together. I love it.
Um, so definitely a movie that people should watch in theaters. You think?
I think it will definitely help. Um, the visuals are great. Like the deaths are shocking and vivid, um, and fun. You know, it's definitely that kind of movie to see with the crowd. Yeah.
Some well, I have not seen Final Destination yet. I may go see it in theater. But if you guys have watched it in the theaters or maybe have comments about Final Destination as a franchise in general, feel free to leave a comment below and be sure to like and subscribe. And we will see you next time.